Ready? We'll call the June 9th, 2025 Fairmount Town Council meeting to order. If you would join us for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. All right, a roll call.
Armstrong,
Present.
Karen Poland, present. Hedrick, Ken Poland,
Present.
Treon,
Present. Any purchase orders?
no.
Review the claims and order warrants drawn on the same.
I motion we accept the claims and order warrants drawn on the same.
Second it.
All right, motion made by Karen, second by Angie to approve the claims and order warrants drawn on the same. All those approved?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Minutes from our May 27th, 2025 meeting.
A motion to review minutes and approval for the meeting of May 27, 2025.
Second.
All right, motion made by Angie, second by Ken to approve the meetings from May 27th, 2025. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same? All right, we're going to move on to the comments from citizens, which there was nobody on here, so we're going to open the public hearing, and we have Tyler Koffel from Banker Tilly talk about the rate increase.
My name is Tyler Koffel. Work with Baker Tilly. We are the financial advisors on the bond issuance for the sewage works. And as part of that, we've prepared a rate study to address the rate needs of the utility after the bond issuance is closed on this June 17th. I went over this rate study in detail at the prior meeting, so I'm not going to go as deep into detail this time. I'm going to hit on the high levels of the project. If you have questions, just let me know.
Okay.
So I'm going to just start on page 8 on the project sources and funding schedule, or project costs and funding schedule. So in total, the project costs $10,679,000. SRF has given a very generous funding package of $2 million in grant and $8,651,000 in 0% loan. So the combination of those two things pays for the Interceptor project. Page 11 is the combined amortization schedule, including your 2014 and 2021 bonds, and includes the 2025 bonds as well. So you'll see in the far right column, your bond year total, your maximum annual debt service payments, $537,000 a year. That went up, or the new bonds introduced an additional $225,000 per year. With interest rates, that number obviously goes up pretty substantially. So the 0% funding package allowed for lower bond payments. Page 12 is your revenue requirements. This is the schedule that has changes on it from the prior meeting. As we presented in the last meeting, we had a full capital plan and a reduced capital plan. The reduced capital plan at the last meeting was showing the lowest amount of rate increase you could do to afford the project based on debt service coverage levels. So now we've adjusted that reduced capital plan allowance to be $145,000 a year to target a $100 monthly bill for a 4,000 gallon residential user. So you'll see the allowance for capital replacements, the full capital plan is $171,000 a year. So you're just $25,000 under that. And once that lease is paid off on, or the loan is paid off on the sewer vac truck loan, you'll have that $170,000-ish sitting there for the capital improvement spending going forward. So like I said, the rates that the public hearing is on tonight reflect the reduced capital plan alternative, which targets a average monthly residential bill of $100.
And that's based off 4,000 gallons, correct?
Correct, yeah.
What's a normal house?
Well, the rate itself is based off of 4,000. We bill for a minimum 2,000.
Okay.
4,000 gallons is the statewide average that
Yeah.
that is generally considered.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you've got a bigger residential home with several kids, that's a higher bill. But any questions for me? All right, I will be here for the rest of this, so if anybody from the public has questions and you guys want me to answer them, just let me know.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you.
Do we have any comments from citizens?
I like, oh. Don's Bar, 504 West Washington Street. I'd like to know just what mine is going to run. I got about not quite 2,000 gallons a month average. And what, I've got the thing here, but he says it's going to be updated. And so would you have and another thing I wanted to ask is down to the church, we have 2 meters. We have to pay the thing on both meters, or can we combine that? I think they combine the water bill now, don't they?
We do, yeah.
So,
That the way that one's billed won't change.
okay.
As for, let me look at it. Oh, I didn't bring it.
Just
2,000 gallon bill, $64.
That's, yeah,
I think it says that.
It
That's-
says that.
just for sewer.
That's a current one, right?
That's what you run right now, yes. For your base.
so that'd be per month, 2,000 gallons. That'd be just $64.
Mhm. Well, that's what you're paying right now.
That's the post-project rate.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna go up 50%.
That's what I wanted to know.
that's what he will be.
Like
Is it this, what is it,
Thanks, Don.
64 or 66?
Yeah, it
Something
says
like that.
64, 66, yeah, here on the paper.
So it's
yeah.
gonna go up about,
Page 12.
Do you have anybody else?
What's the cap at on that? There's gotta be a ceiling that we meet. What is that? You know?
Unfortunately, some of that is based on what the state stipulates. To a degree, we have to follow the IDEM standard and what they want municipalities to be at. In the grand scheme of things, if we keep on track and we do maybe in every other year, every 2 years, something like that, to keep our rates at a standard, then that kind of keeps them on the same page with us as far as improvements, infrastructure, our billing. That keeps our prices a little bit lower. Unfortunately, we're not like Carmel, Fishers, Marion, that we have a high population to divide that out with. With less than 3,000 people, unfortunately, it hits us a little harder than it does the bigger cities. A little more noticeable, a little more to the pocket. I'm sorry for that. I absolutely hate it because it affects my pocket just like it does yours. But it is a necessity to do that, especially if we're looking at more infrastructure updates, growth for the town. We really don't have a choice. We have to keep moving forward with them. Is there anything you'd like to add, Brady?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
mean, this project is part of an agreed order, so
That's, yeah.
to mitigate combined sewer overflows, the bottom line is that if we don't implement it as required, we could get penalties and things
Yes.
like that. So it's not a want to, this is a have to
Right.
situation.
Mhm.
These types of projects.
Get you back against the wall.
now this rate
No,
increase, is that one time and it's gonna stay for a while, or is it?
Ideally, we will revisit once the project is done. After each phase, we kind of like to revisit a little bit and see where we stand to make sure that we can afford to keep the infrastructure, sustain it, maintain it.
Okay.
All that's a necessity. So it's a good idea to take a look at it periodically just to make sure we are within reason. The last thing that I really want is to have USDA and SRF standing in my office stomping.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, they'll be in my office stomping and then they're coming here stomping.
Anybody else have any more questions? Anybody else? All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing for that.
When will this take effect after it's all done?
This,
When will the rate increase?
well, once this is approved, I still have to send it to Keystone for the update. It takes them approximately 30 days to implement that into our software, and it has to be an update. So we are looking at roughly August for the August 15th billing.
So it'll go up before the project's.
Mhm.
Okay.
About the time that it's starting, this will be implemented.
We're gonna put something in the mail, right?
Mhm.
For
Yeah,
that.
you read more, yeah, good.
No, we post. It has to go publication. We
Okay.
post with
Yeah.
water bills for
I-
July 15th.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't get the newspaper or
Mhm.
online, so
Yeah.
it's good to have it in the water bill.
The newspaper, it's twice a week printed now.
Yeah, Wednesdays and
I didn't
Saturdays, I
realize
believe.
the building was for sale. I drove by the other day, it says for sale on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody good?
Yep.
All right, we'll move along. Enforcement committees and boards. President, have anything? Ryan, streets and parks?
Good evening.
Evening, Ryan.
We sent out 2 letters last week for overgrown yards. Sent out another 2 this week. Our meeting is the 11th for the trailer park. 10:30. Hope all can make it. As far as board goes, it's a closed public meeting to see what we could do for the future. Still haven't heard anything from them. We sent out more letters today.
To them?
Yes. Our Pacer course is coming up. That's June 17th. That's so me and Kyle could get certified for road grading. That all has to go through Purdue. That way we keep getting grants. That'll be the 17th. It's all day class. And then in the future, it's a few hours just to be recertified. But
Is that at Purdue?
no, this is at Fisher's or in Fisher's. So they have 6 different classes. Fisher's is the closest one to us. So, and then our road salt state is awarding vendors coming up on the 13th. I'll know the price on the 27th, and then July 11th. I should have a purchase order for that. And then down at the park, the only thing we have is we're just waiting on a list of plans for that Boss Landscaping. We would like to, instead of use mulch, do stone. So there might be a price difference for the town to pay for that, but I think in the long run, it'd be worth it.
Is it big stone, little stone?
Yeah, it'd be big
Big
stone.
stone, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Big stone with a border. That way it stays in. I mean, we have stone there now in certain areas, but right now it takes about 3 weeks to mulch the trees itself.
I think the rock would look better.
Yeah, rock. I mean, that's something with the trees we have to do every year. Rock, we wouldn't. It's a one and done thing.
Is it decorative?
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah. And then concerts in the park coming up. We have Indiana's band the 11th and the Toy Factory on the 18th. Other than that, there's nothing else up there.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Police?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joe Seward. I'll be subbing in for Marshall Dollar today. So just a few updates on the K9 program. We received several donations. It'll cover a substantial cost of our equipment. I'll let him go into all the necessities with that and whatnot. The slab was completed and the kennel was installed. That'll need a few more tweaks and then it'll be ready to go. We also have a K9 cage for the Tahoe, and we'll start installing that this week. And then the final item, just approval for a training, an FTO training, which is a field training officer training for myself and Officer Street. That'll be in August, between the 4th and the 6th at the Grant County Sheriff's Department. And the cost for that is $475 a piece, so times 2 would be $950 total.
Need a motion?
I'm still writing August.
Oh.
I was still writing at the K9. So what's going on in August?
It's a training officer, field training officer, so basically certify us to better train our officers. Field
Okay.
training officer certification.
For you and Jeremy?
For me and Jeremy, yep. And that'll be at the Grant County Sheriff's Office. It will, that'll save us costs in hotels and whatnot.
Total of $950.
Yeah, what, August when?
The
August
4th through the 6th.
4th through the 6th.
And that'll be to, I got the name of it whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll go ahead and motion the training officer training, August 4th through the 6th for the amount of $950, and that's including 2 officers.
Yep, 2
In
officers,
training.
$475 a piece, and then it's to the CM Public Safety Training LLC.
Second.
All right, motion made by Angie, seconded by Ken for Joe and Jeremy to go to the Grant County Sheriff's Department for FTO training August 4th through the 6th. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same? Motion carries.
And then that's all I had, unless you have more questions about the.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Do what? What was the kennel?
Yeah, where's the kid?
So the kennel is at Officer Brain's house. Yep. And then we have a cage specifically made for the Tahoe that we'll start installing this week.
So the chief lost his vehicle, huh?
He did. It only fit the Tahoe, so.
Oh,
All right, thank you.
No,
thank you.
Fire, Chief Jump.
Good evening.
Hello.
We ain't got much. 251 runs to date. We got extrication training scheduled for tomorrow evening, and fireworks are July 3rd at dusk. You guys got anything else for me? It's quick and
Nice
simple.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like that.
Short of the night.
I
Thanks,
know.
Doug. Not Doug.
Bud.
Sorry.
She did it.
You can tell how old I
She
am.
called you Doug. Huh?
She
Sorry.
called your dad.
Bud Shelton, Water and Wastewater. Where to begin? I'm going to propose to hire Jim Gluff for the Water and Sewer Department. Jim, well, he's been a long time citizen of Fairmount, so if any questions on Jim? Familiar with Jim?
I know the name. I don't.
Well, we know.
For utility worker 3, or are you starting him out in another level?
The lowest.
Is that 3?
Yes.
So he's going to take a cut and pay.
We need a motion. Board wants to approve it.
Oh, I'll make a motion that we hire Jim Bluff as a utility with 3 worker for the water and sewage department.
I'll second it.
All right, motion made by Ken to hire Jim Glove, second by Angie at utility worker level 3.
Yes.
All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same? Motion carries. Congratulations, Jim Glove.
Thank you. I'm happy. I think he'll be a great addition. Okay, the water plant is got a new roof on it. I don't know if you've seen the guys out there working. I'm waiting for the inspector to come back to inspect the job that was done, and I've got a call on him. He's going to call me before he goes up, so I can learn a little bit about roofing and make sure that it's done right. And any mistakes, he'll have him come back. He's totally separate from the company that did the job. He's actually with the material people, so I should learn a little bit about what's right and what's wrong. We did a couple of verifications on the lead service line in inventory. We had Don Scott come in and do a few patches. I'm not sure, but I think maybe during one of the patches he might have pushed down a little too hard on a line on East Washington Street, and I think I got a leak down there. So I'm gonna have to peel that stuff up and do it again. Don's been good about doing patches. This is the first time we've ever had anything like that. If anybody noticed, on 4th and Cottonwood, we had a mishap. One of the guys that was drilling for poles is a mislocated line on our part, and it was the 18-inch sewer. So it was right beside a pole that carried quite a few wires, and I called Eric Bragg, and Eric Bragg came in to fix that line the very next day. I mean, he put us right on. He didn't, his bill, I don't know what it was. It's somewhere around 5,000, but he didn't charge anything for emergency or appropriation or to get his trucks here. So I was thankful for Eric. He's good to work with. He's the one that put the line in down on Adams Street on the east end where Fairmount Avenue is. But he was good to work with. So the guys clean the chlorination basin and the effluent basin. We do that about 4 times, excuse me, more like 6 times a year. They did that this past time. They cleaned the clarifiers both, which we do about the same amount of time. We broke our mower and then we had it fixed. So we had it fixed by a fellow over in Marion. Took a load of scrap over to Hartford City. Kelly, you know what they got? It was like 12.
I think it was right around 12.
Yeah.
A little shy of 1,200.
Yeah. Some of that was from that cleanup day. We try to separate all the scrap out and take all the scrap out there. And then usually after the cleanup day, we take stuff over. So that's all I have. If you got any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
When's Jim's hire or start?
Yeah.
He's looking at, and we tried to appease the other guy's schedule, you know, so when he's coming in, he's looking at the mid of July.
Mid of July.
Is that all right? Yeah, mid-July.
Um,
He's got some vacation and some other things to get in.
if you could do his hire date effective June 19th, that starts him at the beginning of a pay period.
June 19th, have you already talked to him?
I have not.
That's about middle of July, though.
I thought it was going to be later than that. Let me double check.
Are you looking like, oh, well, if you're looking later, that's fine.
You said middle of July, so.
Well, let me just talk to
Sorry.
him and I'll
Let
get
me
back
look
with
on the
you.
right month.
Oh, I could be on the wrong month
Oh.
too. So,
July 17th, if possible.
okay,
July 17th.
okay,
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
yeah.
You have anything building and maintenance?
I do not. Actually, I do have one thing to mention. As much as it pains me to have to say this, because we're all adults, I don't know. Well, we don't know how it's happening, who's doing it. You know, obviously our doors are unlocked 24 hours a day for the front and back doors, and it is a public restroom. All I ask is that we don't mind that you use the hallway restroom, but clean up after yourself, because our guy that comes in and cleans for us really does not enjoy having to put on a hazmat suit to clean the bathroom. I mean, surely we are all old enough to be able to clean ourselves properly and not wipe it on the walls and the floor and everything else. It is a new bathroom. We would like to keep it as nice as possible. So if members of the public are listening to this,
Don't we have cameras in the hallway?
no, we do not.
We have no cameras on this.
Not in the bathroom. I'm talking
No.
about the hallway.
There's none on this campus.
No, there are no cameras here other than what we have here in this room.
And okay.
It's
Talked
just
about it,
a
we never did it.
just
Yeah.
a request. Just clean up after yourselves if you're using
That's
the hallway
disgusting.
bathroom. Exactly.
Financial report from clerk treasurer.
I have nothing.
Karen, got anything from Marion Plan?
Well, we replaced our
Oh.
part-time permit clerk. Used to be Rita,
Mhm.
now it is, hold on, let me get Nolan Baker. So, about everybody is new, I think, except maybe Grace.
That's crazy.
Wow. All new,
Everybody is
all
new
team, all team.
since I've been there. Yep. Almost every single one.
Wow.
There's no committees out, so we have committee reports.
Nope.
We've already done the public hearing.
I do have some new business.
All right, so what else we got our new?
So I spoke with Aaron Metzger on behalf of Main Street Barbershop, and they do have the posting out for the back to school. I know it's early and school just let out, but we would like to plan ahead a little bit to make sure that they have everything that they need. I am proposing the $1,250 as we did last year as a donation for the backpacks and school supplies that they give out. They will be doing the free haircuts at the Main Street Barber Shop. And they are also requesting the same street closure as last year on Main Street from Washington to Adams.
What day is that? Is
What
it a
day
day
is
yet?
that?
She had a date.
I mean, we don't need it now. I know it's still out.
I believe she is doing August 2nd.
Yeah, 'cause I think they go back to 6th, I think.
August 2nd is what they're looking at.
I won't have to do it.
You said $1,200?
$1,250.
$1,250. That's the same that we did last year.
Mhm.
And that's to buy just
Yes.
back to school items.
Mhm. August 2nd from 1 to 4.
Okay.
So I motion we do the $1,250 donation for the backpacks for back to school. August 6th from, what'd you say, 1 to 4?
Second.
August
Second, I'm
2nd.
sorry. Second, 1 to 4.
I second it, or whoever.
Got a motion made by Karen, seconded by Angie for the back to school bash donation of $1,250. Also be closing Main Street from Washington to Adams, August 2nd, 1 to 4. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Anything else under new?
No,
Anybody?
but we do need to pass the ordinance.
Yeah, you got it rolled.
Oh, sorry.
Gee. Anybody else, I think, under new? Okay. Moving on to old. Got the ordinance 4-2025. You want to bring that up or?
Go ahead.
Ordinance 4-2025, ordinance establishing a schedule of rates and charges to be collected by the town of Fairmount from the owners of property served by the sewage works of said town and other matters connected therein. So do we need to suspend the rules on this?
No, because this is your second here.
Okay, roll call. All right.
So what are we changing? What
This is the rates.
Oh,
The
okay.
rates changed and everything else.
Okay. That's what we just did. Okay.
So we need a motion to pass.
Motion passed ordinance 4-2025.
A second.
All right, so got a motion made by Angie, second by Karen to pass ordinance 4-2025. Roll call vote, please.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Karen Poland,
Yes.
Hedrick is absent. Ken Poland,
Yes.
Treon,
Yes.
Oh, my God, I didn't forget.
All right, motion carries. Anything else under old?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Scotty and Ryan and Kyle for getting ready for the first concert in the park. It turned out really good. We had a great turnout. And I want to thank everybody that was involved, the Lions Club and everybody else that had it to make it happen. And appreciate all the hard work.
Thank you, guys. Anybody got anything else? All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second.
Motion. Seconded. We're
Let
adjourned.
them do something.
Hook up on and say, you didn't let me do this.
Oh.